crap. So that's working. Okay. All right, we're getting set up here. Here we go. All right. Hey friends, how's it going? Lynn Clementi Hicks here. I'm having a little bit of a, we're rearranging the studio. That's the kind of day it is today. So I apologize. I got a little bit of a late kickoff, but if you're watching the replay, it doesn't make a difference to you. So hello, my name is Lynn Clementi Hicks, and if it's your very first time catching this, you're in a great spot. We talk a lot about real life things that are going on. Try to relate to them together, and then I keep you guys posted on what's going on with our journey to make a family. So hello, if you're new and you're watching live, I would love to see you say hey in the comments, or actually if you could say new, that'd be cool to let me know that it's your first time catching us live. Okay. Guys, first of all, hello to all the people saying hi. I meant to kick off our episode last week with this, but I'm going to do it today. Here we go. Ready? I am now a little bit, erase. It's a little bit harder now for me to get away with murder. Let me explain. I had to get fingerprinted for fostering and now I am in the system for the state of Illinois. So if I murder someone and my thumbprint, or actually any of my fingerprints, are on the murder scene of the murder, they're going to catch me. So I got to be really careful if I murder someone to make sure I don't leave any fingerprints. Not that I'm planning on murdering anyone, but just so you guys know, probably it wasn't me, because I know how risky it is. For me to not get caught, or to get caught. There it is. Ooh, woof. Okay. I'm pulling up the comments so I can interact with you guys here. I am, I think, right now struggling through a social hangover. Do you guys feel me on that? Do you ever hang out with people so much, or have so much time interacting with other people, that you just feel like it's too much, and maybe you almost feel like you drank too much. Like there was just too much consumption and you just need to detox for a little bit. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments if you've experienced something like that. Oh man, here we go. Aren't we due for a Bert episode? Just saying. Elliot, I totally agree, but we've kind of like set a precedent that if Bert's on screen, there's probably a really big announcement. I would love to just bring him in to the episode and just have him hang out here with me and talk about things together. But he's making my dinner. Great question, though. Oh my gosh. Hey, Sammy. Thanks for stopping by. What happened to the bingo background? Well, at least I took that down in preparation for kind of giving my studio a new look. I like to switch it up a little bit. The bingo background is a little misleading since this is not a bingo channel, but thank you for asking. That was next week. Paul, I was just thinking about you, or Brian. I was just thinking about you, and you popped up on my feed, and I saw you guys have your pregnancy picture up there, and it made me smile, and I'm so happy to see you here today. So thank you for tuning in for a few. Marcus, hello. I hope you're feeling better. Kim, thanks for joining. Happy Monday to you. And Bert was first here, so yeah. Yeah, thanks, Amy. It's, all I did really was take a lot of stuff off the walls, and the lighting is a little bit different, so I'm playing with it a little bit. So, guys, I've learned a lot from live streaming pros, and one of them is about lighting, and I had to go back and rewatch some videos today. I'm still overwhelmed by lighting, but guess who got some new stuff for her studio today? It's like Black Friday sales. I took a lot of, time to decide what I wanted. There was a lot of things on my list, but I went with Elgato key lights. They're still in the box because they were delivered today. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, I'm so excited. These things are going to light me up so I look so freaking good. I got 2 of them. Hopefully I can hit up some of my friends to help me with where they go. I think I'm going to do one on either side instead of the one central. But yeah. And hey, Paul Burke. Good to know about your fingerprints. By the way, can you hold on to this glass for me and then hand it back? Well, Paul, you've been known to kind of get away with murder, but not real murder, obviously, in our Lita. That's pretty funny. You're a hilarious guy. I love you. Okay, yeah. So, Brian, exactly. Cool toys for sure. I am really excited to set those up. I might spend some time tonight just doing it alone. Might just keep the, after dinner, obviously, because I need to eat. But come back into the studio, keep the door shut, and maybe just work on setting all this up, figure out how to link it all with my Stream Deck, because apparently I can make it all, it's all integrated, and I'm really excited about that. So, woo! But yeah, kind of circling back, the whole reason I kind of maybe just need a night by myself tonight. It's this social exhaustion, this social hangover I've got. Kim says, as an introvert, I get exhausted sometimes from too much socialization. Sometimes I need a weekend with no socializing. Yeah, and I honestly, I thought about it, I'm like, is this an introvert, extrovert type of thing? I don't like putting those labels on it. I personally don't like putting those labels on it. Some people are very good at really defining the spectrum of introvert and extrovert and all the other little things in between. But I kind of think that everyone goes through this from time to time. It's just like, wow, I just hung out with one person, then I hung out with another person, and then what did I say to that person? And did I, and I have a little bit of anxiety sometimes. Did I say something really awkward? Because sometimes things just come out of my mouth and I replay things, in my head. Because of that anxiety. Social exhaustion is real. After Thanksgiving for sure, when there's so many people, and then you get together with family, and family have different opinions about things, and things are very, right now, polar with opinions about certain things. And if any of that stuff comes up, that can be exhausting in itself, just being around for that conversation, your heart rate actually starts to go up, your everything, it's just things can tense up, your body is going through something too, everything is. And in that replay afterwards, it's like, did I say the right thing? Should I have said something when I didn't? And just like re-going through that over and over and over. Sometimes on spin cycle for me, it's tough. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes after a busy week, we need an empty weekend. 100%. It was rough going to work today. I was like, I honestly could have just taken today off. It probably would have been better for my coworkers. I accidentally, I didn't think that I was snapping at them, but someone asked me something and I just answered very curtly, which is, you guys know me, talk for 35 minutes straight. Usually I'm long-winded on my responses, but I was very short, and they were like, oh, that was sassy, Oh, yeah. I can get a tan at the same time as you are streaming under the bright lights. Possibly. We'll see. But, extrovert or introvert, we have this exhaustion. But it's not saying it's a bad thing. Like, it's worth it. It's kind of like when you had a really good time partying and you have a hangover the next day. It's like, oh, this really sucks. I'm not going to do it again. But you're like, you will, because it was so much fun and it was awesome. I saw Elliot out randomly. We got, okay, so let's back up and just, maybe I can paint a picture for you here. So Bert and I went up to Minnesota for Thanksgiving because one of his good friends, now our good friends, they got married during the pandemic and wanted to finally have a celebration for it. They decided to do it on the Friday after Thanksgiving, so in Minnesota. So our plans for Thanksgiving were kind of made, that we'll be going to stay with his sister for Thanksgiving. So we drove there because flights were kind of crazy, and the whole, I didn't want to deal with airports on, Thanksgiving week and everything. So we drove there. It's about a 5.5, 6 hour drive. We get up there, and we're hanging out with the nephews, which are high energy, 5 and 8 year old, constantly going. Which is exciting, but just the nephews alone could have been enough to be like, oh, I'm exhausted. But they're awesome. I love seeing them. It's so much fun. And, Thanksgiving itself, Bert's mom then came and joined us for a few hours. So we had family, and we didn't really have alone time because once we're there, we want to spend every minute with family that we can. And we never really just broke away to no kids for a second, let's just be by ourselves. We didn't have any of that space, or we didn't create that space. Question for you guys. On Thanksgiving, when you're getting together with family, do you create that space for yourself? Do you find moments to go be by yourself? Do you bring your phone into the bathroom and just erase your mind from everything else that's going on for a few minutes, take that long poop, maybe? Tell me what you do to kind of deal with the non-stopness of holidays. I would love to hear. So on Friday then, we broke away from the family to go hang out with friends. We stayed with our friends Katie and Kai. They were such great hosts, by the way. Really wonderful to see them and stay with them. And they have a baby. So we all went out to dinner, and then we went to the wedding reception party thing. And we get to see all of our other friends there, which is fantastic. And I have to shout out, if any of you guys are watching, all of my Minnesota friends that never comment, but then when I see them, they say, oh, I've been watching. I just want to say I love you, and thank you so much for always being so encouraging. And, there's a specific friend that shared a really... She saved it to share this story with me, and it really meant a lot. And I know she knows who she is, and I didn't ask her permission to talk about her story, so I'm not going to say anything more than that. But I just want you guys to know, they're the friends that watch and that follow up with me later. It means a lot. So thank you, and all of you that watch and follow up with me right here. You're wonderful too. I can't stress how much. Sharing our story has done a lot for the support in this journey. Honestly, it's amazing. So we saw all those friends. The next morning was Saturday, and Katie and Kai really wanted us to go to the Badgers Gopher tailgating because Wisconsin was playing the football in Minnesota. I'm not a college football person. I'm sorry. I went to Columbia College. We had hacky sack was like our official sport. But my friends all promise they're going to take me to a Badger game someday, and I'll understand what all the fun's about, and we'll jump around and have a great time. But we declined. We said, we're going to go create our space. We're going to drive back. And being in the car for 5.5, 6 hours isn't exactly space, right? You're with one other person. There's limited things that you can do. So it's not exactly just like relaxing, especially if you're the driver. So you get home from a long drive, even if you haven't done anything all day, you're tired. But as we were getting back, our friends Jackie and Jason texted, and they're like, hey, there's a new restaurant opening right by your house, a new bar. And it's a soft opening tonight. Will you come? We know the owner. I said, well, that sounds like a great opportunity. We haven't hung out with Jackie and Jason. Let's go do this. I think Bert thought I was a little crazy because I didn't really ask him first. I'm sorry about that, but I knew that he'd want to do it too. So we accepted, got, showered, went over there. And as we're hanging out and having a great time, in walks Elliot, who's watching, maybe still, I'm not sure if he's still here now, but, he walked in, and that was exciting because I haven't seen him in person since bingo. And then we didn't get home till super late. So that left us with like a small window of time on Sunday to have our me time. But that was also catching up on chores and grocery, working on the drywall, all before we had to clean up and get ready to go do Thanksgiving with my family, which was a lot of fun, was pizza. We did Lou Malnati's pizza, which we talked about last episode. So if you're not from Chicago and you want to know all about that, watch the last episode. But and as I was... earlier in the day, I was reminded by a notification on my phone that it was Spark's roast. Now, Spark watches often. I don't think he's here tonight. I know he's doing his own live stream tonight, gaming with somebody. And he's moving away to Philadelphia and asked me if I would be one of the people that roasts him. Now, I don't usually go on stage when I make shows with him. These are the comedy shows we do together. So I was stressed. On top of having a social hangover, I was just like, how am I going to come up with the things to roast him? I want this to be genuine and everything. And so when he texted and said, hey, you're coming tonight, right? And I'm like, Spark, I have to be honest with you. We're having family Thanksgiving tonight. I haven't prepared anything. Like, don't count on me. I might not make it at all, depending on, what's going on with the family. I don't want to bail on them if we're, doing a thing. So we go to dinner, and it kind of starts to wrap up naturally around the time we need to head out to the show back in the city. And I was very lucky that there was no traffic going back in to the city. We made it just on time. Oh, Spark, hello. There he is. Got here to hear my name. Sexy. Well, I thought you were going to be live right about now. So we made it back just in time to catch the show, and the entire time I was sitting there, I was really just kicking myself for not having something ready to roast, because I think I could have really done a good job. So I get a chance to roast him on Wednesday for our final show together. So if you're watching and you're in Chicago and you want to come check out, step right up. Tickets are on Eventbrite. This whole thing wasn't just to be a plug, but anyway, you can see I've told you this entire thing of all these people that I've seen since when we got on the road Wednesday, all the way through last night. And we finally got home from that show around like 10 something. There's no time left to do any relaxation or like wind down before bed and then heading to work the next day. So I am a real piece of work today. Do you guys, so you're with me here, and we don't have to compare things and say, oh, well, I just got tired from hanging out with my family for one day. That happens to me sometimes too. But it's exhausting, and I'm paying more attention to these things as an adult and going, why am I so snippy, and why am I so tired? And it's, all this social interaction. So yeah. Oh, well, perfect. So Spark's going live on Twitch. Just stopped by to say hi. So, well, thanks, Spark. I appreciate it. So when we saw my family, we got to see our nephews there too. So lots of littles in our life over the past week. And sometimes, when you're going through this journey to try and create your own, it can be like almost like a constant reminder, like we don't have our own littles. But it had a little bit of the opposite effect this time, because all those littles and watching everybody and all the things that they have to do, change the diaper, feed them, clean them, do the routine, discipline, lots of discipline, keeping track of them, just in general, it's exhausting. And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of glad we don't have littles right now. But I know it's different when you have your own and everything. But I took a moment to appreciate that during all this. Yeah. But yeah, it is a lot. Understatement of the episode there. Thanks. But I don't regret any of it. I'm happy I made it to as many things I did and saw the people I did. I'm just ready to not do anything for a few days. But I don't have that built into my schedule. So I might tonight play with these key lights, get them set up. Apparently I can control the temperature of them so I can make myself look warmer. I'm going to play with the lighting up here to separate myself from the background. And I was thinking, as I'm setting this up later this week or throughout the week, excuse me, I had a little silent burp right there. Rude. Would you guys be interested if I live streamed while I set up my studio? Would that be something interesting? And you don't have to watch the entire thing, but kind of just stop by and kind of see behind the scenes of how that was being built? Or is this something you guys just want, like what you see today and then next week something totally different? Let me know. Something to live stream or something to be surprised by? I guess it can be, well, it can't be both. You get to watch it be built or you don't. Oh, wow, I'm exhausted saying all that stuff. Okay, so we talked a little bit about social exhaustion. The other thing I want to chat about, here, Paul, or I keep saying Paul, but Paul's last name is Brian. I try to preserve as much of my nighttime routine as possible. Reading a book before bed is a great restart. That is awesome. And Bert and I have a similar kind of routine. He's a reader before bed. Reading for me at bed can be a little dicey because sometimes I'll get so sucked in it's hard to put it down. And other times I'll be reading and just going through the motions with my eyes and turn, however many pages and not know where I left off. So I'm like, reading before bed is not for me, but we do have a bedtime routine and I appreciate it. It is to wind down. We do watch a little bit of TV and then we go to bed at a certain time and we turn the lights off, no TVs in the bedroom, and just kind of like do that kind of like time to just fall asleep. Yeah. Awesome, Marcus. Thanks. He would watch the setup. Awesome. But I think finding a bedtime routine is incredibly important. Maybe that's something that we can talk about in a future episode. As boring as it may seem, I think that we could learn a lot from sharing each other's routines and maybe seeing if there's something that we could try, something new. Okay, so I was going to chat a little bit about this fostering thing, and I named this episode "How to Overcoming the Resistance of Difficult Tasks." Now, you may be like, Lynn, it's not resistance. You've been really busy. You just told us all the things you've been doing. It's no wonder that you haven't been able to move forward with your fostering journey. However, there was an entire week before that I didn't do it. And you're like, well, Lynn, you were doing plastering and drywall and everything like that. And I'd be like, yeah, guys, I know. I've tried to tell myself these excuses too. But the reality is we had time in the car to call the people that our friends have put us in touch with to hear about their fostering experience. Why didn't I set up time to make those calls on the drive when we were both together and had nothing else to do? I didn't do it. I know I didn't do it on the way there because I was working almost the entire time. But on the way back, there was plenty of time to make those calls, or even text and see if they're available. We did try to call one person, and I know, trying to get schedules to align is tricky, but there might be resistance on the other end too, is opening up and talking about that story. So that's the other thing. There's resistance both ways. But other than just trying to connect with those people, because in my mind that's the next step, is connecting with those individuals that our friends put us in touch with to hear about how they got started. How long did it take? What advice do they have for when you just begin? Because I want to get that advice so I don't start wrong. Because as far as I can tell, there's two ways that we can go. One is to continue going through Lydia Home, which is the place where we've been volunteering. Or the other option is to just go through all the steps online from DCFS. And if you fill out a form there, they actually just put you in touch with someone in your area. So then I'm like, well, I already know someone in my area that can help me. And then I'm like, but the contact I have at Lydia Home is more for the volunteer and stuff. So I start making up all these excuses on like why it's not just smoothly moving forward. But I can make up all these excuses all day long, and I think that the real thing is it's scary and unknown, and I'm, and it's almost like because it's a long process, it doesn't really matter how long I wait to start it, because it's going to be long no matter what. What's a few more weeks? But also at the same time is like if we just keep on pushing it off, it'll never happen. So I want to try and make an action plan here today on moving forward, even if I don't talk to those people to hear their advice. And I'd love to hear from you guys too, if there's any relatable experiences you've had that you want to share here that might help me, or any tips for, what my next step actually should be in this specific journey of fostering. I have a lot of questions. I have so many questions. And it makes me wonder, like, am I supposed to know the answers to those questions before I start? Things like, am I fostering to foster, or am I fostering to adopt? Do I need to make that decision at the beginning? Do I have to decide what age I want to foster? Or is that something that I'll figure out later? Or that, I'm sorry, I'm saying I a lot. It is we, 100% we. It's funny that we say that, right? I'm telling you guys all these things that are resisting for me. But I think we do need to bring like Bert into that conversation. Is, he's also not making those appointments with people to talk, or making they're doing the research to figure out where should we actually be applying to start all this, and all the things I just listed out. And does this go back to those roles that we talked about a few weeks ago in our relationship? Is he just expecting me to do it? Is he afraid to step on my toes? Is he resisting this process more than I am? I mean, I think we need therapy. Oh my gosh. Hello, Austin. Thanks for jumping in for a sec. Nice to see you. Appreciate it. Zaina, thanks so much. Hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, we're diving deep here into this resistance. Why is it so hard to do big changes? We are comfortable in what we know. We are comfortable in routine. We work so hard to build a routine that works so that we can be emotionally, mentally, physically stable, right? And once you get there, it's like, well, why would I want to go and shake it all up and change it? But is the reward greater than the risk? And I don't know, like maybe that's the resistance too. We're hearing stories about fostering and what, the hard things that could come of it, and we're setting ourselves up to say, to say goodbye to someone that we develop a relationship with potentially. So I think this is very therapeutic for me to be saying all this out loud, to be honest with you. I really, really want to pursue this whole thing, but it is very daunting. It's like, it's so much. And I just kind of wish I had someone to hold my hand through it. Almost at the same time, I also would love someone to hold my hand moving forward through this pregnancy journey too. Pregnancy, fertility is the better word to use here. I'm at a point where I personally am okay if we don't ever get pregnant. As sad as that is, I think that the heartbreak has been enough this year alone. And I know that there's some women who go through it for much, much longer. And I am totally accepting of, if we do get pregnant, I will be happy and excited. But it is no longer something I am like, yeah, we're gonna keep trying until it happens. I also know though that like in order for it to just happen, my body is not reset from the miscarriage. It is not normal. It doesn't smell normal. My face doesn't feel normal. I still have acne. There's discharges that are not normal. My cycle is off. It is extremely frustrating because I've had 2 cycles and you think everything's kind of reset and everything, and it's not. And I know that there's difficulties because when I did my miscarriage naturally, I didn't follow up with, I didn't really go back to my doctors and say, hey, look, I think we need to make sure that everything's cleared out. I thought that was like, they would do that, that they'd be like following up with me, but that's not how doctors work. I almost need someone that's like my advocate, my health advocate, that's like, all right, Lynn, I'm going to make this appointment for you because that's your next step. Doctors aren't going to ask you to do it, and you're not doing it because you're resisting this whole thing, so I'm going to do it for you. I don't know if there's a service like that, but I think I would pay for it if there were. Yeah. So, yes, change is always scary, even if you want it. I love that. That is extremely true in so many situations. In change, it comes with fear and excitement at the same time, right? And if you can hold both of those feelings at the same time, it's a little bit easier to move forward, because if you include that excitement, then you've got that push. Brian's saying I need a health advocate too. Maybe this is a new thing, guys. And it's weird because my health care provider that I go to is called Advocate Aurora. And it kind of sounds like they'd take care of you and be your advocate, but that's not the case. That is not the case. Yes, Kelly's right here. You have to advocate for yourself. You're right. The doctors won't do it. It's very true. It's very true. And I know it. I did like when we were going through IVF, you get a calendar, right? You have a plan, and you have a point of contact. So, and you know that point of contact will get back to you the same day. And I've talked to so many women who, and including myself, if they reach out to their doctor, they may not hear back for days. And by then you've changed your mind about things, right? Or it doesn't matter anymore, or, you just start to question whether or not your doctor cares about you. And I'm not saying that it's the doctor's fault. Our healthcare system is kind of bogusly all over the place, but it's really, really challenging navigating the healthcare system. Who do I go to? My fertility doctor or my regular doctor? What if I want to switch doctors? And my friend Nikki actually did give me it's like there's an annual membership to it, and you can, I think, text or call them anytime, 365 days a year, 24/7. And they will look up doctors in your area for you and connect you with them. So if I wanted to, I could start this whole thing where I want a completely new doctor because I had a bad experience at the last one. Not my fertility doctor, my regular gynecologist. So yeah, and I know, and again, I have that contact information, but I haven't done it. Yeah. Yeah. Doctor buddies, I think that's an untapped market. I think maybe Brian, we need to put our heads together and make a marketing plan and sell it to someone. We'll get a lot of money here. All right. My dad is saying, this sounds like a reason to procrastinate, but your plate is really full now with the plastering and the holidays. Maybe plan a firm start date in January. All right. That's a good suggestion. That's, not bad. It does sound like procrastinating, but maybe now is just too much. Maybe that is part of the reason. It's like, I just need more of a clear, a clear schedule so I can focus, take the information that I'm getting from the people I'm asking it from, and apply it immediately rather than talking to that person, forgetting about it, waiting another week to talk to another person. And then who knows? Yeah, maybe you're right, Dad. Maybe just putting the plan together for January is the smart way to go. I love that suggestion. I know. Our entire soccer team has a fertility doc referral for you. I know. I really actually love my fertility doctor, the Advanced Fertility Center of Chicago. I really do think if I went through IVF again, it probably would be a success. But since we got pregnant naturally, I really also think that we can do it again naturally. And as I previously mentioned, I'm okay if it doesn't actually happen, because I've emotionally moved on from the heartache of pregnancy and the fertility journey, and I'm happy to grow my family with the fostering. It's where I'm at. And I don't know if Bert completely agrees with that, but he's not the one growing a baby inside of him, so I'm going to give him a family one way or another. We all need to give ourselves grace. Yes. I think this is, as an adult, something that I've gotten better at, and I'm still not great at it. It's, I'm pretty hard on myself, and I think a lot of us are. And I think that can really, it can all pile up, especially this time of year when it's exciting to see everybody, but at the same time, you're also thinking about gifts for everyone and schedules, and, we're not creating that time for ourselves. So, I threw a lot at you. I was, we're entering into I want to say stressful holiday season. If you don't mind me saying that. So what I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to leave this as my actionable item for everybody this week, is to think about your you time. Okay? Especially if you've got kids at home, I want you to think really hard about your weekly schedule and when you can try and carve out some time for yourself, or even if you don't have kids, away from your partner, or if you're single, just making sure that it's not all, jam-packed with social and, screen time and everything. I want everyone to try and think of a time they can carve out this week just for themselves to really do something that they've been either meaning to do that's peaceful and calming and for yourself, for your wellness. Maybe plan a little spa night for yourself, but do something for you this week. And if I remember, I'll check in with you next Monday, and we'll see what you guys did, and hopefully give you a gold star for making time for you. I'm pooped. And, on top of everything, I still showed up today, right? It might have been a little bit of a sloppy episode, but every episode I do pretty much is. What I love is that you guys are here to share it with me, and I am proud of myself for showing up for you tonight, and now I can go and take a nice deep breath, and I'm going to carve out some me time for me tonight and put these lights up, and who knows, maybe after that I'll be feeling a little bit more motivated and reach out to those people and maybe just set up some time, even if it's in January, to talk about fostering. Or maybe now is the time to talk about it, take those notes, and then implement it in January, So thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for your thoughts, your suggestions, for being here with me. I hope that you guys are looking forward to the next month or so. It might be a little crazy, but we'll be here every Monday to check in and see how we're all doing. So, all right. I'm going to roll the credits. We'll see what happens when this happens, or when I push this. Last week, it didn't work so hot, but we're going to give it a try. And tonight, I'm going to make some new things for the studio. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I love you all. Baby dust to you. And see you next week. Bye. Oh, yeah, it worked. And I'm going to add the music so it kicks in next time, too. Where is my music? Here it is. Yeah. Ooh. Brian, I might take you up on that. I think I might do a live stream of setting up the studio. Thanks, guys. Love you so much.